if a giant wave comes out of nowhere, that water has to come from somewhere.
Okay.
So just like there's a peak, a crest of the wave, there's a valley.
Yeah.
And when that water moves, it leaves a giant gaping hole in the middle of the ocean.
No, it doesn't. Really?
It sure the fuck does. It sure the fuck does.
It sure the fuck does.
I'm saying, man.
What?
And it just completely displaces that water.
Oh. Wow, you learn something new every day. For me, it's heights.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little vertigo on them?
Yeah, a lot of vertigo on them, actually. But like, I tend to like try and overcome that fear, if that makes sense.
By
Even
doing
like
high things. Okay, this would have been a great Halloween episode.
Irrational Fears. Oh yeah, it would have been.
Oh well.
Oh well. Anyways, welcome back, everybody.
You can do it.
We're the Intellectuals. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of We the Intellectuals podcast. We just put a little dash of nuance into the conversations of every week. Is that how you say it?
And the polarizing conversations of the internet.
Of the internet. I am currently trying to imitate Jem, but my name is Renee. And this is Jem over here.
Jem over here. We're your hosts for today, where I was steamrolled into her doing the intro just now. Like, honestly, that's what we're doing.
Honestly,
that's
I didn't
what we're
really
doing.
intend for it. But
yeah, we're experiencing a newfound level of freedom with our podcast that only comes after reaching the amount of episodes you've done at this moment in time.
1,000%.
I'm here for it. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Like we just said last episode, don't take shit too seriously.
Nah, man.
Shit's not that deep.
Nope.
Y'all are going to listen anyways.
Yeah. Yes.
But we're going to be, taking it light, taking it chill, talking about some things that bother us as fellow overthinkers. I think you all can relate that we just be hyping and doing crazy shit in our minds. Creating mountains out of molehills. Creating storms in cups of waters. Lightning in bottles, all that shit. Because we can't stop our brain from thinking about things.
No, we cannot. It's really like actually impossible.
So,
but I disagree that this is a light and chill episode. I feel like Irrational Fears is I'm really having to pull from my,
Oh, you're going to be really vulnerable.
This is a really vulnerable episode for me right now, actually, okay? I feel like I'm
the
really...
fact that we're saying like irrational fears, like we understand that this doesn't make sense to be afraid of.
Right, but yeah, there's a visceral fear response.
That's what you're talking about today. For sure. That's fine.
I have.
I'm glad that you're taking it there.
Yeah, I definitely am. I definitely am.
For sure. It's going to be chill for me. I'll speak for myself. I plan on having a chill thing because I have the wherewithal and the rationality to understand that the things I'm afraid of do not impose much threat in my everyday life.
Totally.
Like all the conspiracies that I attach myself to, which I think is a great place to start.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think it's a great place to start because of what's been happening right now.
What's been happening?
Diddy?
Oh, I know.
P did, or did he not do it?
Wait, is that a play on words like P
Did
Diddy?
He do it?
Yeah. Did he do it?
Did he or did he not do it?
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, the P Diddy situation. Man, we
Fucking
did mention
insane.
the lawsuit on the podcast, but it was just like in passing.
It was in passing. I think I mentioned it at that point too. I was like afraid to talk about it. So I'm like, well,
a perfect time to talk about it.
Talk about irrational fears.
Why are you afraid of talking about the Diddy situation,
like,
Renee?
The rational fear part of it is I'm afraid P Diddy's gonna come for me specifically. Like I don't know how much. Right. I don't know how much power this man holds. Am I gonna get ops out? You know what I mean? Like, are the ops gonna come for me? That's what I'm concerned about.
They could.
Yes. On the other hand, it's still very much developing, and there's like information out, of course, and it's a very intense stuff that this case is like dealing with. So I'm like, I'm curious to like wait to see how it unfolds, to see kind of what is revealed.
Yeah,
but more so, I'm afraid that P Diddy's gonna come for me.
Right, you irrelevant ass motherfucker. Okay.
Exactly.
He might find out where you work and be
Who
at
knows? Who knows?
I heard what you said in that podcast. Well, great. Diddy, if you're listening to this podcast, that's fucking awesome,
We
bro.
made it.
Yeah. But at what cost?
At what? No, literally.
At what
cost? I don't think I would actually rather have P. Diddy not listen to us. Thank you.
That's fine, man. P. Diddy is fine. I've never really cared much about P. Diddy.
No.
I've never really understood why he had the level
of fame and respect.
Fame and respect and influence that he had.
Yeah.
Because him and Jay-Z were neck and neck who was going to be the first black billionaires in the hip hop industry.
Right.
And I got Jay-Z.
Right.
I understand why Jay-Z was in that conversation.
Right.
I didn't discount or discredit P. Diddy's role in that. I just knew nothing about it.
Right.
The only thing I knew about P. Diddy is that he owned Ciroc, and I love Ciroc. Ciroc was my shit back in college.
Yeah, we did drink lots of Ciroc until I learned how much fucking sugar is in that shit.
See, that's what everyone fucking says, but the sugar that's in Ciroc is not the sugar, table sugar.
Well, I know that, but that's what is cause you. At least for me, I would get crazy hangovers,
Yes.
and I do think that had to do with the fact that I was drinking Ciroc
or alcohol in general.
No, true, but I don't. I'm older now, and I don't get hangovers nearly as much.
Oh,
as you know, I've been out on the town these
on
past.
The prowl, a little Batman action. Wait, what is that?
Yeah, what is the Batman theme song?
I don't know. That actually might be the Batman.
Yeah, maybe
the really old 1960s.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it's a really old version.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, and I've been drinking, but mainly tequila, and I haven't been hungover.
Maybe it's vodka.
Could be vodka,
because vodka is very notorious for really aggressive hangovers. 1 and 2. Tequila is the healthiest alcohol you can drink if you're trying to avoid hangovers. So
yeah, that makes sense because I was a vodka girly in college, as we know.
Me too.
That Peach Amsterdam.
Yeah, man. Ooh. Ugh. See now, I was sophisticated. I drink peach Ciroc. What do you mean? Pineapple Ciroc? I just love that it came with its flavors. You freeze that shit. I could take shots of that all day. I still probably could take shots of that all day and be fine. Yeah. He really ate with Ciroc. He was cooking for real.
He did, but in every other aspect of his life, he did not eat. He should probably be arrested if the allegations are correct. Allegedly.
Allegedly, he was up to some nefarious shit. And the cool, or I don't know. Cool is not the right word. But the interesting thing about it is I found out through this conversation that P. Diddy's father has mob ties.
Really?
Yeah, that's why everyone's freaking scared of him.
That would explain why he's out here killing people. Allegedly.
We're just disclaiming it that every single time. Allegedly.
He allegedly, right? We're safe from the law, right?
Allegedly, right?
That's why I was afraid.
We're just talking about what other people are talking about.
Right, allegedly.
So yeah, he has mob ties. His father was friends with Frank Lucas. And if you don't know who Frank Lucas is, Frank Lucas is probably one of the most prolific Harlem mobsters, gangsters.
Oh, fuck.
That I guess maybe even invented or revolutionized. He either invented or revolutionized the drug trade of Harlem in the 1990s.
Oh, shit.
And he was an absolute kingpin of the shit. And he was so smart and so discreet and so notorious that he was basically untouchable.
Yeah.
He could shoot someone in broad daylight in their face and everyone watching, and he would not be arrested because that's how much influence and power he held.
That's insane.
He was when you think of gangster, you think El Chapo and stuff like that. He was the black El Chapo.
That's wild. Damn, that's fucking scary.
And the only reason why he got caught is because he started flaunting his wealth and he wore this really immaculate, beautiful chinchilla fur coat,
of course,
bust down head to toe with the shits to I think it was a Muhammad Ali fighting match, and he sat in a row that was better than the celebrities and the rich people at the time, and the cops were there, and they saw that this motherfucker in a chinchilla coat over here, in this front row seat at a Muhammad Ali boxing match. Who the fuck is he? We don't know who he is. They started looking into him. It was over from there.
I see. He got arrogant. He got too confident.
Yeah, just slipping, man. Because he knew he was never flash. That was his principle.
Right.
Don't do this, do this, do this, do this. You'll never get caught. And he was chilling.
Right.
He was importing opium or I don't remember what the drug was. Heroin, maybe?
Okay.
I think it might have been heroin. But it was a new form of heroin that he got from Vietnam, and he imported it through the bodies of the dead soldiers.
Oof.
It was crazy.
God, trigger warning. Jesus Christ.
Oh, sorry. My bad. This was just fascinating information.
Yeah,
I was
God.
just nerding out for a second.
It's just like really sad to like defile bodies like that.
No, he was doing it so they transport the dead people in their coffins, and he knew that no one, because it's really tragic to desecrate bodies, right? He knew no one's gonna be searching in their crates for drugs.
So it was like next to the dead bodies.
It was like
not
underneath it was like in
like
the lining of
mules.
the coffin. So he wasn't cutting open dead people.
They weren't like dead mules, essentially.
Yeah, no, he wasn't doing that.
Gotcha.
That's why it wasn't a trigger warning.
Okay, yeah.
No, he was putting it in like their transportation.
Okay, got you. That makes sense. Never mind.
He's like,
untriggered.
And then you can he knew that no one was going to check that because their dead bodies is sacred, right?
Yeah.
So he was doing that for a minute until they caught him.
Wow.
And
P. Diddy's connected to all that.
Yeah, that's why everyone's scared of him, apparently.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So I was like, wow, that's so interesting. That puts a lot of context.
Right, into kind of...
to everything that's going on. And they raided his house recently, and they didn't catch him. They saw him riding his bike, just chilling in Florida the other day. I'm just like...
So it's interesting that they're going to raid his house and not... I guess I just don't really know how the law, like how those systems like work. You know what I mean? Like what's like the process?
Maybe they needed evidence and they got a warrant to get into his house.
Right.
And they raided his house. If he was there, they would have to let him in.
Yeah.
But since he wasn't there, they raided the house because they were going and he wasn't there.
Right.
I don't know if he would have been arrested if he was there.
I don't
know
think so at this moment because I don't think they had. I think they were. Like you were saying, I think they had enough information to get a warrant to search his home, but not enough yet to like arrest him for anything. I do wonder whether they found something though. I guess
we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
It's too fresh. Allegedly, we'll find out.
right.
Just overuse of the word alleged.
Allegedly.
Oh
allegedly. Not saying he did anything.
Right,
allegedly.
exactly.
Allegedly.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's very interesting shit.
Which that's also funny because that's like also like I was looking through Reddit at like people's like irrational fears, and I realized I was like I kind of feel this way sometimes too. Not as like viscerally, but having this irrational fear that I'm going to get like arrested for something really serious, even though I've never done anything.
What are you
wrong.
getting yourself into?
No, nothing. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's just like this fear that like I will have done something without knowing I've done something, and then I get arrested and like jailed. I don't know what, like this is why it's an irrational fear, we guys.
And you are not built for prison at all. You're like
look at me. Was I ever built for prison?
No, just like,
oh my god, I'm somebody's bitch real fast.
No, that's what I mean. It's like you can tell like some people you can like look at them like, yeah, you would probably have a like no, prison's not a good time for anyone, sure.
Right.
But it's like you like that environment.
You can hold your own,
a
little bit more.
But you just like no, not at all. That's not where you should ever be. Ever.
No, I'm not.
You're not a prison bitch at all.
No, I'd be someone's prison bitch for sure. That's what I'd be at. But I'm not a prison bitch. You know,
not to be confused with a prison bitch. right.
Exactly.
So,
oh my gosh. But yeah, I literally am like, I don't know what it. Just like I just don't know.
Or
like, what if I don't know. Like, what if there's a warrant out for my arrest?
Yeah. Again, what the fuck are you doing?
Literally nothing. I swear to God, I'm literally not doing a single thing.
Yeah,
not doing a thing.
I don't know if it's irrational per se, because that could definitely happen. But it's just like it's such a strange thing to fear if you're not up to something.
No, I swear to God, I'm literally not up to anything.
All right, Renee. I don't want to get no call talking about. So we hear that you are friends with this Olivia Renee.
Oh my
like,
God! Yeah. What if I was like the most like prolific criminal that the Americas have ever seen in like
FBI
decades?
Type shit.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Like this,
wouldn't that be kind of cool though?
That would. Like you're this underground mastermind orchestrating all these attacks, and nothing can be traced back to you.
Exactly.
Like, that would definitely explain your fear.
Right. Exactly.
100%. Like Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I would love for you to have told me.
Yeah.
I would never want to find that out after you've been arrested.
You're like, I would have participated.
Yeah, we could have been right there. We could have been right there. You were holding out on me for what? You know
For
I'm into
what?
this shit.
You know I'm into
this. I could have helped you out. My brain
Oh my God.
and your whatever mastermind and shit you're doing,
Right.
we could have probably taken over the country.
Right.
Missed opportunity. You left me in the dark for what? For what?
Gonna Olivia
That's
Pope
crazy.
that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man, that would be insane. So
that's really funny.
that's if you are, please let me
wink, wink. Right.
Yeah, right.
Blink twice.
You can blink twice if you are a criminal mastermind. Irrational fears, though, yeah. So I am very curious to see how that case develops and what becomes of it. And I'm surprised that settling isn't on the table.
I think because there's like trafficking charges involved.
Oh, you can't settle? Well, you still can settle. You can settle for anything.
I just think that like as the FBI, like as you're like investigating like something like that, especially like within the Hollywood industry, obviously everything with Jeffrey Epstein has been happening.
Right.
We had everything with what's that guy's name? And then I forget his name. He's the bald guy who was kind of handed, yes, him. And then also recently with like, there's a lot of like Dan Schneider, like the Quiet on Set documentary.
Yeah.
There's all these things happening with Hollywood of like these trafficking charges, these abuse charges of like people in power, like abusing that and taking advantage of these people trying to get into the industry or who are in the industry. And I think it's kind of just like a wave that is occurring right now where just like that, which we kind of already knew that the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, I had a feeling would kind of drudge up other things that were not.
To.
Exactly.
If it is what they were claiming it to be, it would undoubtedly bring everything else with it.
Open up Pandora's box, you know. So I'm not really surprised by this, and that's why I feel like, I don't know, as a government entity, I wouldn't want to settle on a case like that. I would want to like exact justice from like a PR standpoint. That looks better, right? You know, you don't want to like, oh, we'll settle on some sexual like or human trafficking charges. You know what I mean?
Just for optics, if anything.
No,
if anything for optics.
if not for anything else, yeah. As the FBI, that's literally like, if no other like entity. It's the FBI who's supposed to be like charging and on this sort of shit. And if they're settling, that'd be weird.
But so telling.
Yeah. That would open up a whole other can of worms. The FBI is settled and then they're in on it.
Right.
1000%. Allegedly. Right?
But yeah, so now we're talking about little irrational fears. Things are overthinking. Brains can't stop obsessing over, even though we have no business fearing these things. Like being arrested for doing absolutely nothing. You upstanding ass citizen. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ. That's such a weird thing to fear.
One too many parking tickets.
That's all that true crime you be listening to.
Probably.
That's what you think.
Oh my God. You'll find out more today. There's so many things.
Okay,
I have so many more irrational fears because of the true crime shit that I used to consume like religiously.
Insanity. But anyways, we can just start since you said yours being arrested. I'll say one of mine.
Yeah.
My probably number one most irrational fear is the ocean.
The ocean.
Large, deep, dark bodies of water. Even more so if this body of water is in the nighttime and there are no lights
and there's
for miles.
What is this old
I could never
English?
be on a cruise ship. Or I will say the idea of being on a cruise ship terrifies me.
Yeah.
The idea of flying over the ocean terrifies me. The idea of what's in the ocean terrifies me.
So when you fly over the ocean, do you have to like distract yourself?
No, I look out the window, look at the ocean.
Oh.
Because it's an irrational fear.
Oh, so you have to stare at it to make sure that you're going to be
just
okay.
Just to know that I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Got you.
Like I know nothing's going to happen.
Right.
But it still flips me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? And this is one thing, you know, you're assimilating information, but some things are better left unknown.
Yeah.
I wish I could unlearn this fact.
Okay.
And there's a phenomena called ghost waves. A ghost wave is a random giant wall of water that appears in the ocean without warning.
Yes.
Because as waves, if you know anything about physics, waves are actually a frequency. And depending on the frequency, the ocean has multiple different waves running at the same time. They can run into each other and they can resonate. and make a bigger wave.
Right.
That's what happens for a ghost wave. Two different waves with the same frequency combine to make a bigger wave.
Right.
And it displaces a large amount of water and it just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm scared of.
That wasn't it?
That tsunamis have always been interesting to me.
Okay.
I love that. I just like, oh, that's cool. A giant body of water. That's coming from me, like pretending to be a waterbender, Avatar vibes, you know. So that wasn't the scary part to me.
What's the scary part then?
If a giant wave comes out of nowhere, that water has to come from somewhere.
Okay.
So just like there's a peak, a crest of the wave, there's a valley.
Yeah.
And when that water moves, it leaves a giant gaping hole in the middle of the ocean.
No, it doesn't. Really?
It sure the fuck does. It sure the fuck does.
It sure the fuck does.
I'm saying, man.
What?
And it just completely displaces that water. So you're just sailing your freaking ship. And all of a sudden, you're sailing into a hole in the middle of the ocean.
What the fuck, really?
Isn't that terrifying? What can you do in the situation? You're going to the bottom. There's nothing you can do about it.
No, you're dead. You're dying.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. And that's not how I want to go out. Me who never sets foot.
And then the teeth come out.
Right. Talk about, what's that story? Charbidus. I hate these fucking Greek ass words.
What the freak?
I know.
What is that word?
Scylla and Charbidus. I think I'm pronouncing that so wrong.
Yeah.
But it's the Odyssey story where they're sailing to the island of the Golden Fleece.
Yeah.
And that is the wool thing that Cyclops dude was guarding. So whatever, it makes things grow great. It's
I've read Percy Jackson.
There you go. So, okay, cool. So Charbidus is the gaping hole thing that sucks in water with the teeth.
Right.
And then Scylla is the lizard snake thing on the cliff.
Gotcha.
So you have to pass those really aggressive ass things to get to the island.
Yeah. So you
Indeed. Yeah. Charbidus is the one that eats you from the water.
Gotcha.
So it's like that, but worse because it's a bigger, deeper hole that just appears out of nowhere.
Wow. I didn't know that would occur. Like I didn't realize
and
that.
There's
that was a
1,000 fucking phenomenon like that in the ocean. Just random, really crazy fucking shit.
And like you just have to be at the right place at the right time, essentially. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
Like
but
there's
now,
more likely that you wouldn't be there.
Right.
But if you are, that would really fucking suck.
It's really hard to predict.
Yeah.
And it only occurs in a specific sea.
Okay.
Because that's
the way
where
that
the frequencies of the waves are more often do. Like the Arctic Sea and the Antarctic Sea are very aggressive ass seas, so people don't sail there. It doesn't just like happen on a coastline, near, like
random. It could be anywhere.
And they can predict those things now with sonar, so it's a little bit safer and shit.
Okay, does that ease your fear a little? Okay,
no, but that's the irrational side, right? Because like that idea is so terrifying to me.
Right.
God, that's so scary.
Cannot do it.
Not the giant wave. I can deal with tsunamis.
Right. Honestly, tsunamis that sometimes scares me. Like, cause I live kind of on the on the coast, right? And there's all these like tsunami, like you're out of the tsunami zone, like all these sort of things. Like you'll I'm like, oh, that's right. I literally live by the beach, and that could happen,
right?
Because there was even a few months ago, there was an earthquake out in the Pacific that like caused a shit ton of waves.
Right.
Like the waves were really high. Do you remember that when the waves were really? I think you didn't because you don't live near the coast like I do. But
I remember it being talked about. I remember you might have been talking
I think I might
about
have mentioned it, yeah. But like I thought about it, I was like, damn, like easily could happen. There's nothing. And the thing is too about tsunamis, like it's not like in the movies where it's just like this big wave, or in my dreams, because I have
you dream about tsunami dreams.
I have a lot of like natural disaster dreams quite often, like tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, big time. My dreams are like in movies. It's like this huge wave that comes crashing into the city, but it's just a wall of water that moves kind of like slowly but fastly inland. And
that makes tsunamis way more scary.
That makes it
like,
so much more terrifying.
You think that they're going to break like at the coastline,
right?
No, it's just water.
It's just a wall of water.
Water encroaching land.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, it's terrifying.
Super terrifying.
The good thing about that is that we are combining these two fears to make it even more fearful, right? Because the size of the crest is what we're assuming the wall of water is.
Right.
But the wall of water is never nearly as big as the 5,500 foot crest of water in the movies, right?
No, exactly.
So it's going to be like
never that.
maybe 20, 25 feet wall of water, which is still tall, right?
Which is still insane, right? Still
but
scary.
It's not like city drowning, like world destruction type shit. For now, it could be.
Right.
But
who
for
knows?
the most part,
Global warming. Who knows what will happen?
Jesus Christ. That's not even a rational fear.
No, that's just a very rational, very rational
like,
fear.
We're a little scared of that, but that's not what we're talking about today. So yeah, that's
we're not talking about the real fears.
Yeah, that's for a different time.
We're not talking about reality, all right?
But no, the idea of me getting sucked into a freaking ocean hole without being able to have like any chance of escaping is my irrational fear.
Yeah. Not being able to escape is just a general. I feel like that's a pretty valid fear, though.
Yeah,
like the general concept of the general concept of not being able to escape is not very fun at all.
Yeah, which is why I don't do escape rooms.
Yes, really.
No, I just don't do it because I don't have that many people to go with.
Right.
That's why. You're in LA.
Oh,
what do you
this
mean?
is true. This is true. Yeah, I've never been to an escape room.
Do you think you'd be good at it?
Maybe. Yeah. Actually, I think I'll either I have this expectation that it's going to be it'd be really difficult to do. But I have a feeling, and I don't know if I'm just like tooting my own horn, but I have a feeling that when I actually do them, they're not going to be as hard. I think they're going to be, or it will be. And then I'll get to a point of frustration because I'm not really good with riddles and stuff like that. Like I'm not a good like
abstract thinker.
Yes, give me hints. I'm tell it to me straight. All right, just tell it to me straight. I don't understand the silly funny.
And your freaking radical honesty over here.
I don't understand your funny words, funny man. What are you saying?
Where's that from?
I don't remember. Oh my gosh! But so it's one of the two. It'd either be like a lot easier than I expect, or so frustrating.
Fair enough.
No in between.
I like to think that I'd be really good at it.
Yeah,
but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, just have
those
to do
little
it.
like I'm good at riddles and I'm good at like really abstract thinking, but I want to say it's going to be the most obvious things. And I'm not good at ascertaining obvious information. I always overlook the most obvious.
I see. Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, because you think you're like, oh, well, it must be something really
overthinking.
Yeah,
see?
like,
there you go.
At our finest. At our finest.
But go ahead, lay it on us. What's another irrational fear?
I think in terms of like another common fear, because I feel like bodies of water is a pretty like common, though that very specific thing. Wow, you learn something new every day. For me, it's heights.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little vertigo on them?
Yeah, a lot of vertigo on them, actually. But like I tend to like try and overcome that fear, if that makes sense. So even
doing like high things.
Like a couple years ago, I went on a hike in Sedona, and there's a part of the hike where it's pretty steep going like up. You're like genuinely climbing. When you look back, it doesn't look like there's much. Like you're gonna tumble down and like die essentially. Right. And I literally had to like sit on a ledge like halfway and just like sit there for a long while to like connect myself to ground and sky, body, everything, mind, body, soul. Yeah, literally like so bad. But it was actually really funny. A couple days ago, it was my mom's birthday recently, and we're all hanging out at my sister's apartment. My sister's apartment, she's on like one of the highest floors. She's like in those really tall luxury buildings that have like 50,000 floors, really, really high up. I think like a 20th floor or something like that. Wow. So something you would love, actually.
I'm like, oh wow, 20th floor. Yeah,
20th floor. She has floor to ceiling, like windows. Wonderful. And but I absolutely hate it. Like I just can't do it. I was sitting there was like a moment where I was sitting on her balcony, and her balcony's pretty small because she's just in a 1-bedroom apartment. Pretty small balcony. And I was sitting on her like outdoor like bench chair in the corner, and like the balcony is like all glass essentially. It has like metal rims and then it's glass. So you can see through it as well, right?
So very uncontained.
Yeah, no, exactly. The glass is like, it's as if you could just walk right through it. And also too, being a tall person, like the balcony, like where it hits is like my hips.
Right, the wind blows a little too hard.
Literally. Oh my God. No, oh my God. Okay, I'll get to that. Actually, it's really funny. But I was sitting there, And I was sitting outside because I needed to get some sun. I was like hungover and I needed like some vitamin D on my skin. So that was the only reason why I was out there, but it's actually really funny. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like I started getting like these butt aches.
Can't say I relate. Just off the rip. Don't know if I know what you're talking about. You might have to give me a little context.
Like my butt, like muscles started aching because I was like, and I don't think I was clenching or anything like that.
I'm literally about to ask that. Like,
I'm honestly kind of getting nauseous and butt achy right now talking about it.
Maybe this is a stress response. Do you want to move on?
This is a genuine, well, maybe it's not irrational. I think this is a very rational fear. But I literally was like sitting there and my butt started like aching. I don't know how to describe it. And then what was funnier was my sister came out into the balcony and I didn't even prompt it. And we were talking about, because I was like, oh my God, I like, you're so high up. I hate it, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, sometimes my butt will start aching. And I'm like, oh my God.
Maybe it's a Lynn thing, man. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about y'all at all. That's crazy.
Oh my God. It was literally so funny. And then
let us know in the freaking comments.
Does your butt ache?
Do you have butt aches? Is that a vertical thing?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Oh man, that's crazy. Idea.
But it was just like this. Oh, it's like so nauseating. And then what was even funnier about it? It's speaking of the wind taking you. There was at one point my sister had she has the umbrella out there. And she opened it up to cover the sun for my mom. And I was like, can you please close that right now? Because she's little. Right. She's little. And I'm like, I'm afraid that the wind is just gonna take you right off this balcony. Like it's gonna catch in the umbrella and you're gonna be gone. And I need you to not do that. So I guess my irrational fear is my sister's balcony at the moment.
Fair enough.
Heights in general.
So you would never skydive?
I would never skydive. No, I would get mad butt aches.
Conquer your fears? Question mark. I want to skydive so badly, but I also don't.
Right. Like,
but I do.
You know, as a proponent of the human experience, I don't think that's necessary to experience humanity.
I did not. I thought you were going the opposite way.
No, I think there's other ways where I can get a rush of adrenaline
that's not the
and a
experience
zest for life, and that's not the experience that I need to experience life to the fullest.
Fair enough.
You know?
Fair enough. I hear it.
Yeah. But even I've told you before, too, like the Grand Canyon, absolutely stunning. Beautiful. I love it. I've been there a few times.
Natural phenomenon.
I love it there. But one of I think I've actually said this before on the podcast, like one of the biggest ways that people die off the Grand Canyon is people pretending to jump off and then they slip and they fall and they die.
Which is so crazy.
Insane. And that makes me sick. Because you know what?
That makes me sick. I'm sick.
Like when I just think about when I'm standing on my sister's balcony or when I'm standing at the Grand Canyon, all it takes is for me to go, it just takes a moment.
Joke a little too hard. Exactly. Your momentum's in the wrong spot.
Exactly.
You misjudge what you're capable of, and you're just on the ground now, dead.
Or just the thought that I could do this. I could literally jump off of this balcony right now. I could jump. You know what I mean?
All the people that died on the Grand Canyon kind of wanted to.
Shit. That's dark.
I'm joking, but it wasn't a joke.
That's a horrible way. Did you do it in front of your friends and family?
Maybe they it's subconscious, right?
Oh, I see.
It's they secretly wanted to.
Oh my God.
But they're pretending.
I literally am going to throw up.
You need a basket or something? You good? You good? Oh man, drink some water, please.
We're talking about irrational fears. Do you not get visceral reactions?
No. This is why I wanted to talk about. I understand why you gave the disclaimer at the beginning, because irrational fears to me is like a tee hee ha ha. This makes no sense to be afraid of.
No,
and you're like.
No, it's real fear.
Yeah, these are phobias for you, man. These are.
No, these keep me up at night.
Medical. God damn.
Medical.
For sure. Well, again, back to my tee hee ha ha little fear. I contemplate very existential ideas.
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm afraid of this per se.
Okay.
But in the spirit of the 3-body problem and
good show. I just finished it.
Oh, good. So this is a little bit of a spoiler for the story, not necessarily the show.
Okay.
But the concept in that is the dark forest theory in relation to the Fermi Paradox. The Fermi Paradox is that we have an equation that produces justification or evidence for abundance of life in the cosmos, in the universe. Based on this equation, the universe should be teeming with life. But why are we not finding or seeing any of this?
Right.
First theory is that space is just too big. We can't meet each other. It's just too big. Like as much as we think that as much as we think that people could develop the technology to travel through space, maybe that's just not possible because space is just too big and no one has that technology.
Right.
The other, the more sinister theory is that the universe, there's a principle in the universe that operates as a dark forest. So every life in the universe, every civilization in the universe is a hunter in a dark forest. And there's two options when you meet another life. You either kill it or you die. So everyone in the universe that understands this idea is not broadcasting their location to other people because they know that the moment extraterrestrial finds another civilization, they can't determine if this is going to be a friendly civilization or a violent civilization. So it's safer to preserve your civilization and kill the civilization.
Oh, so with us broadcasting our shit all day, every day, since what, the 60s?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're over here lighting a giant bonfire. Right. Yeah. We're over here. We're over here. Right. We're over here lighting a giant bonfire in the middle of a forest teeming with things trying to kill us.
Dark, slithery things.
So yeah.
Well, that's fun. Oh, I guess I see how that relates to the 3-body problem because they do have that, like, will they, won't they?
Yeah. That's a crazy thing. That's a crazy comparison for what's happening in that show. Will they, won't they? I guess you could describe it like that. Oh my God. But yeah, exactly. So that's why the warning that they were giving to Wen, whatever her fucking name is, they're like, don't send this shit again.
Right.
Because people are coming for you.
Right.
And she was like, run that shit up.
She was like, please. That was wild. Even just like to talk about that show. That was so wild that she like, I don't know. I just could never feel like I have that much authority over the human race that my opinion, no matter what my opinion is, and honestly, these days my opinion's pretty dark about the human race. Not gonna lie. But to feel so strongly about my opinion that I am willing to take that big of a risk on the human race, like I just like the gall.
Like you're not gambling with humanity.
No, literally, exactly.
Fair enough.
Insane.
Fair enough.
Really wild.
But look at her experience though.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Why?
Because if that shit was happening to me, like fuck these people,
everybody.
bro.
True. Yeah.
Fuck these. If you see everything that's going on, if you experience a tragedy, a traumatic event, and the only thing you see, especially in that era of China, you're only getting the negative of the outside world, right?
Yeah.
So like, if this is what it is, fuck shit, man.
Come hither
with the quickness,
with the swiftness,
with
please.
the swiftness, please. Because I feel that. But thinking about extraterrestrials is kind of like not so much scary, but when I think about the dark forest theory and whether or not we should be broadcasting our presence to the universe and what the repercussions could be.
Control over whether we're doing that.
NASA just decided to do that shit.
Like,
we didn't vote on that shit.
Right.
That's not democratic. Y'all just doing that shit to compete with Russia in the 1960s. Whatever, you know? Or even more so, like, if the moon wasn't a celestial body and was a base of operations for, like, alien life. And it's all along
conspiracy territory,
So those type of things.
I do always, oh my God, I used to have a really big, not as so much anymore, but definitely the fear of being abducted and not knowing or knowing. Like, there's like the fear, because like in the moment, like when you're being abducted, hypothetically, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Like the aliens would come in and grab you and like do their things on you. You would remember until they then then you forget, and then you wake up in your bed and you wouldn't know that you knew, and that whole thing would happen. I used to have like huge fears about that. Have you seen, God, what is it called? The Fourth Kind? Have you watched that?
But I know the story.
Oh my God. It's basically like about, for people who don't know, it's like a story based off a true story that happened in a small town.
Story. Holy shit.
It's based off a true story. That's what, and I don't know how much, like, because obviously you can say based off a true story and still like, you know.
Take your little
right, interpretation. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's based off a true story, but it's basically about like a city, like a small town in Alaska, and how there are people being abducted by aliens, and they appear, and like how it's being discovered is these people are going through like hypnosis with this therapist, and in these like hypnosis sessions they're realizing that these owls are coming to these people's windows in the middle of the night. And what they find is that the owls are actually like the aliens change it in their brain to make it seem like that they were owls, but they were actually aliens, and they were abducting them, and it becomes a whole thing. And then the aliens start talking through the person and saying, "I'm God," and God as a former religious person. When I'm like, that is not an alien. That's a demon, right? Like,
is this the one where they like kidnap the children?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, so it's based off a true story, but ever since I've seen that movie, and oh my God, I remember watching it one time while I was in, like, because that movie, like I said, it's based in Alaska in the snowy mountains. And I remember, not for the first time, but for the second time I watched it while I was in Big Sky, Montana at the ski resort there. And when I was in college with my college boyfriend, and we decided to watch The Fourth Kind while we were in the fucking mountains.
What were y'all doing, man?
And I literally I stayed up all night because I was like, I'm gonna fucking see an owl. The moment I see an owl, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm out of here. So that would make me.
See, we're gonna talk about abductions.
Yeah.
I'm far more terrified of government abductions.
Oh, interesting.
Than I am of an alien abduction.
Okay.
Because I feel like the aliens are not as nefarious as the fucking government.
Oh, for sure.
But they're researching, don't even be helping me out, improving me.
Oh.
What the hell's the government doing?
Yeah.
You see what happened to the people that were apprehended by the government.
Right.
They all turn crazy and shit. Yeah, man. The government
or like those old like CIA things where they were like
MK Ultra and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
100%. Yeah,
and then two, speaking of abductions.
Yeah.
The national park theory. Have you heard of the national park theory?
No. So
I'm not gonna to not make this like the most long-winded explanation ever. Basically, every national park, there's a gate in every national park.
Okay.
National parks exist to protect this gate, and the gate is a place where entities, undefined, come and they apprehend hikers. And if you look at the data, 1,500 people a month or a year, a significant amount of people go missing in national parks every year, never seen again. Right. Or if they are seen again, they're completely changed. So there's some nefarious things cooking and boiling up in our national parks.
Yeah.
Don't be hiking in crazy places. Stay on the trail. Stay during the tourist things. Because we have the most national parks. We created the concept of national parks, America.
Yeah. Well, we have so much beautiful land.
Of course. But then again, so does Africa.
Right.
And Africa doesn't have national parks like that.
Yeah.
At least not before America.
Yeah.
It's thing.
Right.
So what's happening in these national parks? Why are so many people going missing? Is it just, bears and shit or skinwalkers?
Right. Oh, stop. I know the Appalachians.
See what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I have heard or seen people talk about like the correlation between like potential tunnels that are in our national parks, like these tunnel systems that we don't know about, and people people disappearing.
And they like stumble upon it and they like get lost in the maze.
Exactly.
And that Bohemian Grove.
Oh my God, stop. Yeah, that would be very frightening. And I like to hike too. Allegedly. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not okay. That's seriously not okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, slightly different from abductions, but a part of the true crime, what is it? The repercussions of my like true crime obsession.
Right.
I am so afraid of getting like murdered in the middle of the night, or just like
someone breaking into your thing.
I'm like, I think about it often. Just like someone could break in right now and like kill me.
Me too.
Yeah.
I share that. Especially living alone. I'm like, wow, like there's really nothing preventing a person breaking in here. Why does no one has ever broken into my house?
Right.
And like sure, I could defend myself as a man.
As a man. Right.
As a man, I could defend myself.
Right.
But it's like if I'm sleeping, someone could break in my house and like that's just not something I want to deal with ever.
No. Ever. Literally ever. Literally at all.
Knock on wood.
Right.
Glad I don't have to deal with that shit. For now.
For now, right. It's not yet a problem.
Also, criminal activity being done to me is something that definitely terrifies me a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
Even though I never put myself in situations
to be criminal. Activities against.
To be criminal. Why are we speaking like that? To have something criminal done to me.
Yeah.
It's not how I live my life.
No, same.
But for traveling too, when I think about traveling, I saw Taken and then I saw Hostel, two like really thriller movies. Hostel is more horror,
right?
And it's people just getting kidnapped because they're traveling through Europe and they are staying at hostels and they're kidnapped and their body parts are cut up. Like I have a really irrational fear of someone stealing my organs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a good irrational fear.
And that's why I like low key make my organs undesirable.
Oh my gosh, that's why I have a drinking problem.
That's why I'm an alcoholic. So you're definitely gonna want this liver. Exactly. So think about that.
Stop. I'm currently in sepsis. So.
Jesus Christ. You want this? You want this liver? Yeah, take this shit, bro. Okay, who's winning here?
Right.
Who's winning?
Who's winning?
Like it's much more practical to carry a gun, maybe.
Right.
A bodyguard, maybe.
Yeah. There are so many
Kill
other
yourself,
options.
for sure. That's fine.
Before liver failure.
Right. That's the only thing I can think of. So like, gonna smoke and drink till I die.
Right, exactly.
Ain't nobody taking these organs from me.
Ain't nobody.
But yeah, so like going to Europe, traveling around, and or even Mexico. Europe, you didn't have to go that far. Going to Mexico, there's a story of. Did I tell you this story?
No.
About this guy. He went to Mexico with his girlfriend, and she went to the bathroom. She went missing, and he was looking for her for the rest of his trip.
Yeah.
Couldn't find her. On their way back to the border into San Diego, they see her in a car sleeping with another dude. So she thought they left with her. But something felt off to this dude, right? So he tells the authorities, like, my girlfriend went missing, couldn't find her. She's in that car over there chilling with some other dude. You might want to go look into that. They go look into it. Lo and behold, this girl was, and this is definitely trigger warning.
Oh my God.
This girl was sliced open. Her organs were removed.
Oh my God.
And her body was stuffed with drugs.
So she was
Yeah,
unalived.
100%.
Wow.
100%.
Oh my God. How traumatic for that man. That is insane.
Crazy.
Oh my God, that poor girl. What did she go through?
They're just trying to have a good time in freaking, what's that thing that's right below San Diego, right outside the border?
Tijuana.
Yeah. She was just trying to chill, have a good time in Tijuana. And she lost her organs and was stuffed with drugs.
See, like I have yet to visit Mexico, and I tell you this all the time because I really do want to visit Mexico.
Right.
But stories like this, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me a little apprehensive.
Maybe America ain't so bad.
Right, exactly.
Maybe America ain't so bad. So yeah, that's being robbed in Europe, pickpocketed and stuff like that.
Right.
Things I think about often.
Yeah, no, literally.
Which is funny because whenever I travel, I have a fine old dandy old time.
Yeah, that is funny because I never really I've never had like an irrational fear about being like kidnapped or something done to me. And especially like when I was like studying abroad, like I definitely was doing some like wild shit that definitely could have potentially put me in situations if they were bad people.
Right.
But I never like really had any fear about it. You know, it just was never really much of a worry for me, which could be a good or bad thing. I'm not quite sure.
Again, the stories we tell ourselves,
right?
It's great after the fact because something happened,
right?
To you, but the same
if something happened
in those same situations,
right?
A lot of people are not so lucky.
Yeah.
And human trafficking being so prolific,
no, exactly,
in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so wild.
No, it's
just so wild.
It's really insane. I agree. See, I always lock my, like, thank God I have a lock on my door. And I always check my locks. Sorry, back to my home invader, my home invader fear. I always check the locks of my doors, but it's the same thing as like when you like turn off the stove, or like you have like your hair straightener that you turn off. Did I really? So I'm laying in bed and I'm like, sometimes I get up like 2 or 3 times to make sure.
To check.
Yeah, just to be sure, because like some nights better than others, right? But like I'll just be like, I don't know. And sometimes there's sounds, you know. Or, oh my God, no, it is another recent fear I've been having. Oh, this is a big one. This is one I've been almost every single night I think about it. I'm like, what if an atomic bomb just came down on us right now? Because obviously World War III is beginning. There's a ton of there's been a ton of proxy wars happening. I watched this video and it convinced me. So I don't know like how actual real this is, but this is not like a public announcement that was being made.
I just wanted to know where you were coming from.
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I determine how I should react to this information.
Yeah. Well, there was this
exactly.
World War III has occurred. Well, there was this guy who was talking. I think he was like a historian of some sort, and was talking about how when World War I and World War II were like happening, especially at the beginning of it, no one was saying, "Oh, we're in a world war."
Right.
That there was just a bunch of isolated events, and not so isolated events as well, happening at the same time. That then, in hindsight, it was, oh, this was a world war. Right. You know what I mean? And there are lots of proxy wars going on right now in several areas, namely in like Africa and the Middle East. And I think in hindsight, we'll say that we are in the beginnings of the World War III. We will use these like events as like
this was the catalyst.
This was like the inception of like World War III.
This is our Prince Ferdinand, huh?
Mm-hmm. And apparently Iran is over here saying that they're going to retaliate against the United States.
Good luck.
Which I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I now have a lot of fear because I live in a very popular city that would be a great target for a public enemy, number one, to come and bomb. So I
don't think DC would make more sense?
No, I'm sure. Why not? But like,
it's closer.
No, I totally agree. But just the fact that I'm in one of the major cities, I just have like a fear that like, because sometimes I'll like hear rumblings of things, and I'm like, what if that's just like, because there's also like I live near the airport, so there's like airplanes that fly over. I'm like, what if I'm hearing an airplane that's about to drop a bomb? Like, that's what I think.
The good thing about that is the beautiful thing about that.
Yeah.
Atomic is so absolute.
Yes.
You'll be eviscerated. You won't even know what's happening. It's a very peaceful death.
So this is what I say, which I don't think it'll happen to me, unfortunately. I hope and wish that I'm in the heart of that blast. But as we know, evidence of like Hiroshima and I forget the other city that we dropped
Nagasaki.
a bomb. Yes, that we dropped a bomb on. That people who were not in the direct like eye of the storm, so to speak, there was 3rd-degree burns, all these sorts of things, just long-term radiation that killed them over time. And I'm afraid I'm going to feel. I'm not going to be in the eye of the storm, because I agree. I would just, like a light, you know what I mean? Knock me out.
Like a light.
Like that, okay, sure, whatever. But I'm afraid I'm going to like feel the fire.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah, I think about terrorist attacks all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's just not something to think about. Because like, that's, to me, that's going outside of the irrational fears into the tangible realities.
Oh, yes.
And I don't like to obsess over negative eventualities.
Got you.
So,
yeah.
If it could happen and it's like a relevant thing, sure. The good thing about that, if I can assuage your fears just a little bit, is that no one can randomly drop a nuclear bomb anywhere.
Gotcha.
That's not a random thing that can happen. There's a set amount of nuclear weapons, allegedly, and we know and track and monitor all of them.
And that's because of like the radiation signals that they come off of them, or
it's because
how can you track
the
them?
U.S. has a vetted interest in knowing what's happening with nuclear bombs.
Gotcha.
Because of their destruction, and it's less of a we're trying to like make sure like we're not getting bombed by nuclear warfare. It's the chain of events that would destroy the planet.
Right.
That the reason why the Cold War ended was one because the Soviet Union fell apart, but also because we don't want to die in nuclear holocaust.
Right. We're like, we all agreed that that's not something we would like.
One of the human agreements, human understandings that we can all come to as humans, as a species.
Right.
We're over here like, we don't want to blow
we
up
don't
the
want
world.
that to happen. Yeah.
So because of that, the things that were in place.
Yeah.
Most of the most destructive nuclear bombs are in the U.S. and in Russia.
Gotcha.
And a lot of the ones everywhere else are inoperable.
Gotcha.
The ones in Russia don't really work. They don't have like the capabilities to launch them in a meaningful way.
Gotcha.
So there's like the chances of us getting bombed by a atomic bomb almost like the most negligible, non-existent reality because America has all the capabilities to be launching nuclear warfare.
Gotcha. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But then my mind goes to, if we are able to, other people will eventually be able to.
Or they could like, override. And this is let me bring back the fear, I guess.
Yeah.
The scary thing about that is how easy it is to hack the American government. So with all this cybersecurity and cyber espionage that's been going on with America, it doesn't matter if they have the capabilities. They can launch our shit on us.
Right. That's fair.
But that's very unlikely because of the mechanism that's used to launch nuclear. I don't know why I have all this information about nuclear warfare.
I'm like, damn, you really know shit. Yes, tell me more.
The mechanisms that are used to launch nuclear bombs require both digital and analog things. So we have fail safes.
Gotcha.
Possibilities.
Yeah. It's all possibilities. That's why they're fears and somewhat irrational, but also truthful. Eventualities, as you said.
And speaking of radiation, I saw this one online. If you get blasted with a ton of radiation, your body instantly dies, but you will keep living for a while, potentially weeks.
Oh my God.
Like, there's a Japanese nuclear plant worker who took more radiation than anyone else in history, and his DNA shattered throughout his body, meaning that all the cells die, and they will never be able to replicate themselves again. And then your body starts rotting.
Oh my God.
While you're still using it.
Oh my God. See? No, thank you.
And this is another one talking about existential.
Yeah.
Our consciousness doesn't actually direct our actions, but it just makes up stories to explain our actions to itself. Consciousness might not even be useful to our evolution. It could just be a weird phenomenon that came about as our brains became more complex and developed more self-monitoring systems.
Wow. Talk about argument for no free will.
The stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah, literally. Sometimes I do think about that. Am I in control?
Yeah. That at any moment, at any given time, some unknown cosmic thing could come from outer space and wipe us out in the blink of an eye. Like a gamma ray burst. You know what a gamma ray burst is?
Yes. Or we're talking about the solar ones from the sun.
Solar flares are one of them. Gamma ray burst is, I don't know where they come from. I don't know if it's from the explosion of a star or explosion of a black hole.
Gotcha.
But they secrete something called strange matter.
Oh.
Strange
Love
matter.
That word. That's not frightening at all.
Strange matter is a material we know absolutely relatively nothing about.
Okay.
And it's almost viral in the way that it takes over anything that it comes into contact with. What? So it overrides the atomic structure of anything that it touches, and it makes everything that it touches strange matter. So a proton of strange matter touches something on Earth, everything on Earth will become strange matter.
What does that even mean, though?
It means that
will I
H2O,
crumble like Avengers, like Endgame?
I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I just know I don't think life can be sustained if everything's strange matter.
Right. That's, oh my God. I don't like things that I can't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand
I don't get it. I'm scared.
Yes. Literally.
No, yeah. I was like, that's
God.
crazy.
That's
and
wild.
launches when the stars explode or whatever it releases, it explodes. It launches at like 30 million light years or something like that. So it could reach us and we'd never know. By the time we figure it out, we're all strange matter. What happens?
We all got a little silly.
Oh my God, you're so crazy. You're so crazy.
Oh my gosh. I do think about that though, like with like an asteroid or something like that. Like I always wonder whether like the government would actually tell us or not. Like if they knew that like something was like inevitably going to crash into Earth, would they let everyone know or would they not?
Well, we have a situation like that currently where in the year 2029, I believe, the biggest object that has approached Earth in the last X amount of years is going to fly by Earth the closest anything has ever flown by it at that size.
Right.
And it could either crash into us or it can,
the gravity could pull it in.
The gravity can pull it in, deflect it, and it will come back around and crash into us later. But it could miss us. But the space in which it would have to miss us is so minuscule on a cosmic scale that it's like might not happen.
Yeah. I did see that video where Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about it several years ago.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I tried to forget about it. Or I didn't try to forget it. Then I saw something where someone was like, I think they've proven that it's not going to crash into us. And I was like, I'll take it. All right.
Yeah, cool. Moving on.
It's just some like random tweet that someone posted. I'm like, I will believe you.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes. Thank you, random citizen. Thank you for that. Yes. That's all I need.
Thank you, random citizen.
No, they definitely freaking have proved it. It's probably not going to happen, but we never know.
You never know.
You never know.
It's the cosmos, you know?
Those are the type of things that I would love to end us because it's damn near instantaneous.
Yeah.
The things that are scary are the solar storms, which can disrupt our magnetic field and cascade us in like this technological holocaust and not know it. Like
that would be wild too.
If the sun releases an EMP powerful enough to eradicate all technology on the planet. Right. I don't want to have to deal with that.
I don't want to have to deal with that.
That's crazy.
Thank you.
And like, there's nothing you can do to prevent that.
Right. Have you seen that movie? It was an old Netflix movie with that girl from Jane the Virgin. I forget what the actress name is, but it's the main girl from Jane the Virgin. She's in this movie. I think it's called like Sleep or something like that. I'm making that up because it's about sleep. But I think it's about sleep, so I'm gonna call it Sleep. But essentially, it's about something like that happening, but it affects everyone's mind, so no human can fall asleep anymore. Like some magnetic thing happened and it affected our inner like circadian rhythm and
fucked us up.
And no one could sleep, so people were dying from like exhaustion,
basically going insane.
Sleep deprivation. And there was like the whole story was like there was this one little girl who could sleep and everyone was trying to get her because they're like, you can sleep, and they're all sleep deprived, and I'm like, what does kidnapping this girl who can sleep do for your lack of sleep?
Like,
I'm not sure, but
leave her alone.
Right, exactly. Let her sleep. No, for real.
Fair enough.
That would be wild. Yeah, like definitely those things that are like in like the cosmos that like could affect literally, like our way of life and whatnot would be quite wild.
Right.
And
I'll maybe do this last one because I think it's really interesting.
Okay.
Another irrational fear. I'm very terrified of Yellowstone National Park.
That's a good one.
I'm very terrified.
The volcano.
Not just a volcano, Renee.
Okay. Oh, tell me more.
Super volcano.
Oh, yes.
A super volcano.
Right. And we're pretty close to it, too.
Oh, we're not far enough away from it for it to matter. Because, like, I saw, and this, again, seeking knowledge.
Right.
Seeking knowledge. I need to stop, Loki. I need to stop because I know this now that the reason why it's a super volcano is because the magma reserves and the molten reserves underneath the surface, the thermonuclear energy goes from like the Rocky Mountains at the end of California all the way to like the Midwest.
Wow.
Right? Huge thing. So if it explodes, it's taking off the western half of the country.
Right.
And we can't predict when it's going to explode. Like we can like kind of prepare for it, and monitor. It was like, oh, it's getting a little more active, blah, blah, this and the other.
Right.
But it's definitely going to explode.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when it does, it's going to eviscerate America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Casually.
That's wild.
Just casually.
Just casual to some cute. And people live around there. Like full blown.
People are always in the Yellowstone. It's a beautiful thing.
No,
it's a beautiful
stunning.
place.
I kind of want to go.
And it's like, I never go because like, that shit is a fucking super volcano.
Right. Do you think that are we far enough like Southern California to where we would actually, you know what it is? I think I saw this guy do a video and he showed like a rendering of like what would the potential devastation that could be caused when the super volcano explodes. And I think he said for like people like in our region-ish, it would be more of a situation where all the smoke that would cover like the continent or our part of like the US, we would all die from like this, like the inhalation of like the very, very hot smoke that would blanket all of like the West Coast and more, obviously.
Probably damn near the world.
Yeah.
It'll definitely send us into an ice age for sure.
Exactly.
And so like if you're not eviscerated by explosions of molten lava and the chain reaction of a supervolcano exploding, you're either going to die from the debris, the smoke, the inhalation, the aftermath of it blocking out the sun and you dying from lack of sunlight, freezing over.
Right.
Or I think that's it.
So I couldn't like stay in my house and I'd be fine. Like close all my windows.
I mean, but how long could you stay there?
Right. That's true. And I don't even have like, that's also something that I think about too, is like, because going back to kind of something affecting our magnetic field and like technology going out, I've been seeing a lot of videos where people are talking about like how to prepare for like if our power grid, everything goes out, technology, everything, like all of those systems get shut down because we don't have access to like electricity, power, all that kind of stuff. Here's like a kit, like you should have it at your home,
all times.
Right, to be prepared. I'm like, because I don't have like an earthquake kit, I don't have a tsunami kit, I don't have like if I can't use my phone kit. Right. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you why I don't have any of those things. Because when shit hits the fan, I don't struggle against the machine.
Yeah.
I'm not a fighter. I'm not the person that's gonna try to survive in a zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Kill me.
Right.
Kill me quickly.
Kill me quickly. But that's the thing, is that you would just like kind of, I don't know, like I don't have a flashlight.
Damn,
you know, I don't have a flashlight.
Damn, bro.
I used to at one point in my life, but I don't have a flashlight anymore.
Use your phone, huh?
I don't have like a lot of Band-Aids. I was telling you off this podcast, I had a splinter and I didn't even have tweezers.
God.
I don't even have tweezers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this, I'm like, there's like basics.
You're so unprepared. And maybe that's what they want us to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because how could we prepare if we're always in survival mode? We barely know what we're going to eat tomorrow.
Right. Like, what would we even know what we would need?
We don't.
Also, but I kind of trust these survival guys. Like, I'll let them worry about it and tell me what to get, and then I'll get it, and then I don't have to worry about it.
But then how you know what to get if shit's happening? You can't use your phone.
No, but that's what I'm saying, is that's why you have to get it. Like, I'm saying I'm going to trust these survivors, because there's like these survivalists who are like really into this shit.
Like, they're
prepared. Who like think about all these different scenarios, what you'll need, blah, blah, blah. And granted, like, those survivalists, they have a lot of fucking shit in order to like be prepared for like all these different scenarios.
If the quality of my life is affected that much, is it really worth living?
Oh my God. I just think that like I probably wouldn't like kill myself. So I want to be prepared to like try and like be okay for a while.
I would kill myself through inaction.
For sure. And you know what? And that is your prerogative, and that's your right as a human.
I'll just peace out.
Yeah. You're like, all right, I'm chilling. You run out of food, you're just gonna let yourself starve?
Yep.
Starving is like really painful.
Oh, I'm quite aware.
Yeah. It's
I try it every so often.
Oh,
just
painful
to
way.
see.
Yeah, I actually know people who go on diets where they don't eat anything but drink water. That's the only thing they do for like several days.
I've tried the water diet. It's miserable.
It's not fun.
And then if you're drinking water and you're on a water diet, you die even slower.
Yeah, right.
It'll take you months.
Yeah.
It'll take you months.
Yeah. Horrible.
So yeah, that's that.
Oh my god.
That's that. But yeah, I'm not post-apocalyptic survivor, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not my thing.
This is not your style.
So I hope if something happens, it's one of those instantaneous ass shits and not some like technological fallout. I was like, well, you could survive if you try hard enough.
Right.
How inconvenient. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
You're going to just kill me outright? You're going to force me to work hard to survive?
That's the thing about like a technology blackout. That would be like... It's not like an atomic bomb or like a super volcano. Like,
your
life
isn't that crazy. It's just a little harder.
Right, exactly.
You have to light a candle now. Oops.
Right, exactly. You can't like look up your location on Google Maps.
Damn, I have to read maps. I don't know how to read maps.
Exactly.
I actually do know how to read maps. Yeah. I'll probably be a really good survival person. I could figure that shit out. I think about these type of things.
Yeah.
But effort. That's my thing. That's my biggest. That's my biggest.
You enjoy
limitation.
the modern day lifestyle.
Yeah, the luxury of living in America and not having to work for shit.
Yeah.
Even though I have to work for shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's the little things. It's the little thing. I can go to the store and get a piece of lettuce.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't have to forage for food.
Yes.
I don't have to fight off feral humans for toilet paper.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I feel like the pandemic is a very classic example of how America would be if shit happened.
Toilet paper, priority.
I
Apparently.
don't know how much you plan on shitting, but go off, I guess.
But there we go, I suppose.
They said it would take, it was an 8. I don't know if it was 8 hours, 8 days, or 8 weeks. Okay. But we have that much time before society falls into chaos.
Falling apart.
So if the power grid falls apart, we have about
8 something
before it's irreversible.
Yeah. Oof.
Absolute chaos.
Damn. Well, that's fun to look forward to.
Yeah, and let's just leave them. I'm going to leave you guys with that.
Yeah, with some existential
ass motherfucking shit, which is exactly what this episode was. Just this entire episode. Now I think about it, because it didn't have that much of a structure. It was just us overthinking the entire time.
No, all of our irrational fears. Right, 1000%. That's what this was, and I came to deliver.
You were ready. You were ready. I didn't even know.
Right, I had the butt aches and everything. Like, we're ready to go.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let us know what you guys are scared of. Yes. And if we made any of if we gave you new fears that you didn't think of.
You're welcome.
That ocean one, I didn't know. I was afraid of that until I heard it.
I did not know that one.
Here we are.
That's a new fear for sure.
Yeah. Tell me what your irrational fears are. And if you made it this far, thank you for listening. And I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, on our TikTok, on our YouTube. Subscribe to that and watch those videos if you want to see our beautiful faces.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm very expressive and I have very fun facial expressions.
Yeah, man. Don't stop at the thumbnails. It gets better. Just click through the video.
I am quite the expressive person.
So wild.
I've been told in the past that I have crazy eyes when I speak. But anyways, also like our Facebook page.
Can never forget that damn. Are you still posting shit to the Facebook page?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Whenever I post on TikTok or Instagram, like the reels, I'll post them. And then the description and like posts that we do on Instagram when we post an episode, they automatically post to Facebook as well.
I need to get access to our Facebook page so I can start posting the YouTube
longer
videos.
Yeah, definitely. I think they would do well there.
I think so too.
They do. Like we get like an average like 500 plays right now, like on the reel. So it's like cool. There's views.
Cool.
You know.
All right. Stay fearful, my friends. Because at the end of the day, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Renee.
And we're the Intellectuals signing off. Until next time.